Hi, my name is Mai, and today I'll be presenting my UX project on the Duolingo phone app, which I completed for my UX course with RMIT University. Duolingo is one of the world's leading language learning apps, known for its gamification and freemium business model. I personally have been studying German on it for a year now, but always felt it lacked proper linguistic explanations. I only recently discovered the tips feature on the homepage, which basically fulfills this purpose. I had a hunch that other users were also unaware of this feature, so my chosen user flow aimed to include and make it prominent within Duolingo's lessons. To gain some context, I first read user reviews on Sensor Tower, which revealed that A, many users strongly dislike the live system, and B, users complained about a lack of linguistic explanations, therefore supporting my hunch. My landscape review of the apps Babbel and Busuu demonstrated that these key competitors of Duolingo both had specific sections in their lessons with explanations, and these built on from previous teachings. Both the apps also had icons that you could press for either a pop-up tip or a short summary. I then made an interview guide that discussed users' language learning experiences and also how they dealt with confusing questions or answers in their Duolingo lessons. I then conducted 6 interviews through which my participants all expressed similar ideas to each other. For example, Tomoko, Kate, and Jess here all stressed how easy it was to overlook the current tips button on the homepage. And Sakumi, Cindy, and Daniel here all specifically wanted tips at the start and during lessons to improve their learning. To sort and synthesize these findings, I completed Affinity Mapping using a digital software called Miro. Key insights I made from this were that though everyone liked having tips, they only discovered it during the interview. Secondly, users wanted professional explanations to what they were learning before diving into lessons. And thirdly, users wanted to access previous levels' tips as they progressed through their language course. My recommendations were therefore to make a tips button within the lessons, to display tips at the start of a new level, and to have a save feature to access previous tips. This also informed my lean persona, which took into account users' needs, pain points, and opportunities to improve their learning on Duolingo. Keeping this persona in mind, I ideated 2 scenarios. Scenario 1 here was based on my interviews where users often exited Duolingo to Google explanations, whereas scenario 2 had the user read the tips prior to her lesson, therefore streamlining her experience. Next, I designed a number of paper prototypes. With some feedback, I prioritized the following to include in my wireframes. Number 1, while keeping the homepage's current tips button, users would also access it at the start of a new level and after they answered a question. Number 2, create a star icon to save tips. Number 3, have a side menu to access previously saved tips. And number 4, to break down tips into several shorter pages. From this, I created a lo-fi prototype using Adobe XD. I then conducted 3 usability tests where users accessed tips from both a brand new level and then a level with some lessons already completed. Users were also asked to save tips and use the sub-menu to access a different topic. Feedback revealed that users wanted to swipe between pages rather than pressing next each time. They also thought that a light bulb would better indicate tips instead of a question mark. And finally, they wanted all lessons to be accessible from the sub-menu instead of just the saved ones. So here's my mid-fidelity for which I kept the 2 scenarios mentioned before. And essentially the key difference here was that the new level displayed tips at the start of a lesson, whereas the other one just went straight into it. So conducting 2 more usability tests, I refined my prototype. Some key feedback here included having a collapsible submenu when users click the checkpoint titles, making the tips button on the homepage either white or yellow, and for a potential high-fidelity prototype, creating some pop-up instructions. Overall, the feedback regarding this prototype was that it was clear and concise, therefore helping users build a deeper understanding of the languages they were learning. The next step for this would potentially be to build a high-fidelity prototype with more user testing. But for now, the link to this mid-fidelity prototype can be accessed from my assignment submission and through the presentation PDF. Thank you for watching.